If the stakes are high enough, you can do anything, suddenly. This thing, you know, that you've been struggling with, like I can't change, suddenly your child's life is in danger, and you just did it. That proves you were full of shit. These obstacles were imaginary, right? You can stop thinking. All I ask is 1 second of no thoughts. And there's different angles into this that can be helpful, initial introductions. One being, become so present to the present moment that you can't have thoughts of anything. If the present moment is still too vague or abstract, if you're really new at this, so to speak, and no offense, that's beautiful, welcome, you can make that even more obvious and say, okay, the present moment in the form of the body or a sensation, something form-based, something that you're used to focusing on, an object. Again, enlightenment is all about loosening up our incessant focus on objects and becoming the subject which has no borders, no boundaries, no skin line, and wake up to the sense of infinity, the sense of miraculous love, isness. Love comes from infinity. It doesn't come from a need-based body-mind identification. That point aside, focus on the body. Become so present to a single sensation, squeeze your fist maybe. Feel it so directly, but yet keep this expanded awareness, sort of this 360 view of that experience, but feel the sensation, focus only on the sensation so intensely, and yet notice that by doing that for a couple seconds, you have no thoughts. Now here's the subtle distinction between enlightenment and non-enlightenment practices that often pose as enlightenment practices that don't do much. If we use this very tangible example, so you squeeze your fist and you focus so much on that sensation, it's true that you have no thoughts for that moment, but usually we don't notice that we don't have any thoughts. There's many times during the day you don't have any thoughts, but you don't recognize it. That's where that expanded awareness comes in. That also needs to sort of be cultivated. So you allow your mind, if you will, since it's so used to always having an object to latch onto, and it can't just rest in its wide open, natural, free, spacious state of awareness. Give it an object, by all means. Give it an object to focus on, but then while you allow the mind to focus on that single sensation, allow simultaneously this radial background awareness to also kick in, and notice that the mind is so focused it's not having any thoughts, but you still exist. Awareness wakes up to itself. Awareness recognizes that it is aware of the mind being so focused that it has no thoughts. That is conducive to awakening or enlightening. Another example that everyone is familiar with, we call it the flow state, right? Let's say you're an artist and you're painting, and you're so absorbed in the painting that you have no thoughts, but you don't know that you don't have thoughts. The expanded awareness is missing. So sometimes people say, oh, enlightenment is the flow state. No. Enlightenment is knowledge of self, direct experiential knowledge or awareness of self. The self that is the beingness, the isness, the true self that has no form yet is. You follow? The formless self that is, that awareness which you cannot escape, which hears my voice right now. You don't have to do anything for it. You are that which hears my voice. You don't have to do anything for it. See how effortless it is? Enlightenment, just like that. But you have to repeat it until you're certain about it. Until you know, without a shadow of a doubt, that what you are is always free, always formless, always available, always the container, the space for all things to appear in. So now you can allow the appearances to come and go. While you begin to rest into something, some sense of self that never changes. And the more you do this, the more it expands, the more absorbing it becomes, the more blissful, the more peaceful you become, the more powerful you become. And yet at the same time, this power comes with a purifying energy. So it's not the power over anything, it's just the power of being. It's the power of radiating the truth of existence back to existence. What could be a greater joy than to wake up to the peace that never leaves you? The unaffected state that you can't get rid of, that's always already here. Your birthright, your freedom, it's your right before you were born. It is you before you were born.